Hello, everyone. This is the latest world news in America. If you're interested, I'd appreciate your likes and subscriptions. Good afternoon, dear fans of interesting weapons. You are on the wave of the channel World News with you, its host and author Michael, and in today's edition, I will tell you about the top 10 strongest armies of the world in 2023. All I can ask from you is likes and subscriptions to my channel. Let's give it 1,000 thumbs up because it really helps me to release videos as often as I can. 10th place, Italy. Manpower 27,492, 998 tanks, 197 aviation, 850 aircraft carriers, 2 submarines, 8 nuclear warheads, 0 military budget, $37,000,000,000. Italy, as an industrialized state, claims a leading role in the southern European region and the Mediterranean. Italy's main priorities in foreign policy are to increase its standing in NATO and the EU and to strengthen ties with the US and Western European partners. In terms of military hardware, Italy's results are solid, but not the most outstanding. 13th in terms of air fleet capacity, 850 units, 62nd in tanks, 197 units, and 7th in ships, 313 units. 9th place, France. Manpower 30,054, 265 tanks, 222 aviation, 1,004 aircraft carriers, 1 submarines, 9 nuclear warheads, 290 military budget, $45,943, $325, $500. France is one of the few countries whose armed forces have an almost complete range of modern weapons and military equipment of its own manufacture, from small arms to nuclear-powered strike aircraft carriers, which, apart from France, only the US has. France is not impressive in numbers of ships, 23rd place, 126 units, aircraft and helicopters, 10th place, 1,004 units, and tanks, 58th place, 222 units, but its military-industrial complex is modern and very powerful. 8th place, Japan. Manpower 53,412, 349 tanks, 1,004 aircraft, 1,451 aircraft carriers, 0 submarines, 21 nuclear warheads, 0 military budget, $29,600,000,000. The main task of the Japan Self-Defense Force is the defense of the state and the protection of Japan's freedoms and independence. The 9th article of the Japanese Constitution severely restricts the military activities of the self-defense forces that are not directly related to the defense of the country. The main rivals feared by the Japanese are China and North Korea. In addition, the Japanese still do not have a peace treaty with Russia. In addition, Japan is one of the closest US allies in the region. There are American bases on the territory of the country. The US supplies Japan with the latest weapons. In terms of military equipment, Japan's results are quite decent. 6th place in terms of air fleet capacity, 1,451 units, 23rd in tanks, 1,004 units, and 20th in ships, 155 units. 7th place, Pakistan. Manpower 104,457, 253 tanks, 3,742 aircraft, 1,413 aircraft carriers, 0 submarines, 9 nuclear warheads, 165 military budget, $7,500,000,000. The Pakistan Armed Forces were formed after the country gained independence from the British Empire in 1947 and formed its own state. Since independence, the Pakistan Armed Forces have been involved in 4 wars with neighboring India and a border conflict with Afghanistan. Pakistani divisions and brigades were present in some Arab countries during the Arab-Israeli Wars and also participated in fighting on the coalition side in the First Gulf War. Currently fighting against the Taliban in northwest Pakistan. Pakistan is among the top 10 countries in terms of Air Force units, 7th place, 1,413. The tank forces are slightly behind, 8th place, 3,742 units, But Pakistan, like its neighboring rival, does not have many military vessels, 28th place, only 114 units. 6th place South Korea manpower. 25,992 417, tanks. 2,331, aircraft. 1,602, aircraft carriers. 0 submarines. 22 nuclear warheads. 0 military budget. $42,100,000,000. South Korea's armed forces were founded in 1948 after Korea was liberated from the Japanese Empire and a republic was formed. Such a small country is forced to have a relatively large army due to the constant threat from North Korea, although the latter has a much weaker army due to having outdated equipment and soldiers trained in old ways of fighting. In terms of Air Force units, South Korea is among the top 10 countries, 5th place, 1,602 units. The tank forces, 10th place, 2,331 units, and the Navy, 19th place, 157 units, are slightly behind. 5th place Great Britain manpower. 31,184,044, tanks. 227, aircraft. 663 aircraft carriers. 2 submarines. 10 nuclear warheads. 225, military budget. $52,235 $456,000. The main task of the UK Armed Forces is to defend the United Kingdom and its overseas territories, to ensure security and protect the interests of the UK, to participate in international peacekeeping operations of the UN and NATO operations. The United Kingdom has modern armed forces. The main part of the military budget is spent on scientific research in the field of engineering and technology. In terms of the number of military equipment, the UK's performance is very mediocre. 16th place in the number of air fleet units, 663 units, 57th in tanks, 227, and 43rd in warships, 73. 4th place India manpower. 653 129 600, tanks. 4,614, aviation. 2,210, aircraft carriers. 2 submarines. 18 nuclear warheads. 160, military budget. $54,200,000,000. India's higher ranking is largely due to its large population of labor and military personnel. However, India is vulnerable because of its large need for fuel relative to its small amount of oil production. The country possesses nuclear weapons and also ranks first in the world in terms of arms imports. India has a large number of airplanes and helicopters, 4th place, 2,210, tanks, 6th place, 4,614, and an advanced navy, 8th place, 295. 3rd place China manpower. 761 691 469, tanks. 4,950, aviation. 3,284, aircraft carriers. 2 submarines. 78 nuclear warheads. 350, military budget. $230,000,000,000,000. China's army is constantly improving its technical level. While 15-20 years ago most of the military equipment in China's inventory were obsolete copies of Soviet models, today the situation has changed dramatically. Given the huge resources, financial, human, and technological, that China has at its disposal, China's armed forces may well claim leadership in the coming years. China has the second largest military expenditures in the world and the first place in the world in terms of the number of military personnel. The third largest fleet of military airplanes and helicopters, 3,284 units, fourth largest armored force, 4,950 tanks, first in the world in the number of military vessels, 730 units. Second place Russia manpower. 69,590 771, tanks. 12,556, aviation. 4,183, aircraft carriers. 1 submarines. 70 nuclear warheads. 5,977, military budget. $82,600,000,000. Russia, despite its military setbacks in Ukraine, retains its second-place ranking as the world's strongest military. Modern Russia has a mediocre economy, low rate of army rearmament, production and development of modern weapons, suffers from lack of personnel and imperfect material base, as well as sanctions from developed countries. Russia's high ranking is largely due to its huge number of tanks and armored vehicles in general, first place, 12,566 units. Russia also has a large navy, second place, 598 units, and an excellent air force, second place, 4,182 units. In addition, the country is one of the world's largest oil producers. Russia's armed forces have the largest nuclear arsenal in the world and a well-developed nuclear weapons delivery system. First place USA manpower. 148 430 460 tanks. 500 aviation. 13 300 aircraft carriers. 11 submarines. 68 nuclear warheads. 428 military budget. $76,681,000,000. The U.S. economy accounts for about a quarter of the world's GDP and produces a third of global military spending, making the country the planet's foremost economic and military power. In addition, the U.S. has the greatest political and cultural influence in the world, as well as being a leader in scientific research and technological innovation, and is currently considered the planet's only superpower. The U.S. has the largest military aircraft fleet, first place, 13,300 units. The U.S. has the third largest armored force, 5,500 units. The U.S. also has a developed navy, fourth place. That's it for now. The video was pretty concise. And then I see a huge space for discussion. The place for this, as always, in the comments to this issue. Lastly, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. I'll be glad to have you here in new videos on my YouTube channel. All the best to you and see you soon.